Okay, so yes, last time I wanted to work on the notifications from the app so that, meaning that when you receive a chat message from support, you get some permanent notification and is in-app or outside app. But instead, I had some issues with auto scroll and the chat, basic functionality of the chat. So I worked on that. Today is the day where finally I can update the call now. We work on the notifications. So I'm switched to, let's go backend integration, notification, and backend integration, can integration for notifications. It rhymes. Okay. So updated the goal. So I just started using GitHub project for keeping track of this, and it's integrated with Claude as well. So Claude is writing the tickets for me, and then also executing them, of course, with a lot of back and forth and input from me. It's not anywhere as automatic as it would like to think, but yeah. So the first ticket is this FCM. FCM. I keep on forgetting what it means. Firebase. I hate acronyms. The Firebase Cloud Messaging. Right, and it's written here. Set up Firebase Cloud Messaging infrastructure to support message notifications. Problem, users need to be notified when support agents reply to the message in the chat, in the app chat. We need the FCM infrastructure to support in-app notification and also notifications that work also when the app is closed. So those that appear on top of the phone normally. The first is implementation details is kind of the to-do list, I suppose. FCM configuring Flutter app, FCM permissions, and the modify Firebase function. There is also some Android permissions that, right. So the interaction between, so the in-app chat works by sending messages to and from Slack. So these are some test messages that are sent back and forth from Slack to the app. I tried a long message and stuff. And the way it works is when the app send a message to Slack, it actually calls Firebase Cloud Function, and when and that talks to Slack, and vice versa as well. I have another Firebase Cloud Function that when Slack gets a message in the thread, finds the right user, it posts a message to that user. And posting the message at the moment means add a record to the Firebase collection. And when the app is open, the phone is streaming that collection, which is a feature that Firebase offers, which basically means without polling, you get in real time any new message, which is fantastic. But it works only if the chat is open. So to make it work also when the chat is not open, you need this cloud messaging notifications thing, which I don't know much about. I never used before, so we're gonna figure out now. Okay, hold on, I have a message. Eh, okay, so we got this ongoing chat, or I got this ongoing chat with Claude. And apart from this, I was curious if I was curious to know, I can tell you this, if Slack knew about the time, because this was about 2 hours ago, 1.5 hours ago, and I asked, when was the last message? And he said, just now. So it means no understanding of the time. Anyway, that's great. It doesn't really matter. It was in my curiosity. So the first step is to add the dependency in the configuration for the Fire FCM, which is Firebase Cloud Messaging. And it says we need a dependency in spec YAML, so the dependency file for Flutter. Then we need permission in Android manifest and some kind of implementation. So I would say, oh, this is not, I have to resize the window a little bit. Mm, I was saying, okay, let's resume with the CM feature according to the plan you just outlined. So the first is, I don't need to say, but the first thing is a dependency. You will know, or it will know, Claude will know. So Claude is a male name, I think. Can can we refer as a he? Um, okay. So create a branch for SM. Okay, let me double check something. So we are on main. I do a pool, which is this is my alias for git pool, and we are all clean. Okay, so that's fantastic that he suggests to create a branch. That's what I would do. I forgot to say that. Yeah, we already check our main and pool, but yeah, can do. It doesn't hurt. Already on main. Okay. So we'll go until I have time or finish the tokens. Um, FCM setup 609, interesting. So it's putting the feature name. I would like the feature name at the feature number. That's interesting. Maybe we should do that. But I would like the feature number at the beginning, maybe. Now I'm nitpicking rather than going on doing something interesting. Hmm. Ah, good idea to put the feature number in the branch name, but I would like it at the beginning of the name, maybe with some identifier to understand better. That's about GitHub. Maybe, maybe. What about? So I tend to with the LLM rather than say do this, do that, to say, oh, I would do this, but I'm open to different suggestions, and that's great because it opens the conversation where the LLM can agree or disagree. What about GH? Will you put a number after? Yeah, without hyphen. 609 hyphen FCM setup. And if you do agree, can you update Claude MD first with this instruction, with this singular instruction? Otherwise, suggest alternatives. Okay, I see this. Much easier. Oh, okay, he likes it. I will say he from now on. it makes me it's easier for me to say that keep on saying it or that think, maybe I should say she for politically correctness. I would say he. Okay, branch naming. Yep, fantastic. Now we got the instruction include, so that means it will be remembered across sessions. This is a kind of a long running session, but and long running session it kind of works too because it compacts the uh, context and we'll forget the older things in the end. So create this branch. Finally, you can add the dependency. There you go. We'll double check that because I think it has a tendency to put outdated dependencies. So before we do that, let's try. I'm in Vemv, so I first deactivate. Don't need Python now. All right. Well, that didn't work. Deactivate. Okay, I didn't spell it right. Now the folder I am in this, I'm going up folder and I go. Yeah, I can do Flutter pub. But I don't know if I need to do get to do outdated. Let's try outdated directly. See what happens. It probably looked at the log only. Let's try get first. Let's go with outdated again. Ah, so he put I stand corrected and he put a recent version. Let me double check in this way. I really don't trustful. Firebase messaging, and then I add the Flutter to find the package. There you go. Yep, there is indeed the latest version. Right, so I see that there are also some outdated stuff, but I think this custom lint, if I do update, last time it didn't work, it caused issues. And I have some three upgradable little things, but I would do those separately. So, and they're not important now. So let's go on with the main work. So now we want to do the pub get, which already pub get, Flutter pub get, which already done, but he doesn't know. Okay, we go Android permission. Ah, the vibrate permission. That's interesting. I don't, I don't know if we want to vibrate the phone or not. I think it's a bit too intrusive because if I think I support app from the bank, I don't think it's. I have um a bank app with support. I don't think it does vibrate. Let me discuss this first. Do you think we should add vibration or is it too? I mean, it would be great to test the vibration. Maybe some can be disabled by the user anyway, but don't know. Reasonable. Okay. So yeah, here you go. The discussion. Expected behavior, support, urgency, user control can disable, including. Okay. Let's include actually school. The vibration. Go ahead. Continues. Okay. So one thing I learned is like don't be afraid to interrupt any work from the LLM to ask questions. So, for example, if I'm not happy about this particular change or I don't understand it, I can stop here. I can say no and ask a question about it. But let's look at this. I didn't look at it yet. FCM server. Okay, so we need a service definition in the Android manifest, which is the Flutter Firebase messaging service, which comes directly from the package that I just installed. Starts at boot and kind of sits in the background or something, or it's activated by the message. I don't know. Gets that intent. Okay. So I approve that. Now we will need something in the app to intercept those messages, I suppose. I don't know. There you go. Bunch of code to digest. Is this the backend function? No, it's on the app. So we have this FCM service. Let me, okay, it says, let me implement the FCM service in Flutter. Okay. So there is FSCM. You know that I can't see very well this blue, even with the top brightness. Maybe I'll change the color scheme later. Um, import Firebase messaging and my logger. Okay, and my logger is my implementation of the log. And the reason why I do that because I can optionally stream messages to Firestore, so it makes me easy to debug the app running on my phone. Otherwise, it's basically impossible to understand what's going on there. So it creates an instance of Firebase messaging as a static, say constant, but yeah, it's not a constant because it's created at runtime, but unmodifiable variable. And then we got this thing called cache token, which could be null. I'm not a fan of nullable strings when they can be empty. Or maybe that's something I can change, but yeah, we'll see. And then we have this thing called initialize, where request permissions. Alert to messaging. Alert to announcement false, badge true, CarPlay false, critical alert false, provisional false, sound true, even sound, okay. FAM permission authorization status granted or declined. Yeah, because if the user declines, then there will be no notification outside the app. And that's fair play because I know that they can be annoying. Then token either gets a cache token, which is here. That's where instead of checking now, we can check the empty string. Then we get token. Token obtained, so the first part of it. And then 20 is a lot. Maybe a bit less is is okay. But anyway, set up message handling for foreground and background. All right, so all message listen, remote message in foreground. Oh, okay. On message listen, on message open up. Handle message when app is open from the background state. Okay. Handle token refresh. Ooh. All right, we have to talk. Ooh. Okay, okay. So there are a few to-dos again here. Ooh. Again, so it's a lot of to do. I hand up background messages. Okay. Now I need to integrate this service into the main app initialization. Let me check the current main Dart. Well, you're already modifying more than checking. Main Dart. Initialize Firebase. Okay, I did a comment, which is kind of useless since you can already read. Set up FCM backend background message handler. Firebase messaging background handler. Where does this come from? Oh, we cannot see any that anymore. This is FCM service. This is a function I will have to write later. Oh my god. What I want to do is there is a function there. VM entry point. Here you go. Background message handler must be top level functions. Okay. Nice. So we have only a logging, so we can check if we receive a message and just log and do nothing. That makes sense because this feature is just a backend integration. It's not is not neither the push notification or the in-app badge. Okay, that's great. So approve that. So I could just say approve, 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 but the reason that I'm going slow is to really understand what's going on. My God, it's complicated. I just stand correctly. I don't understand what's going on. The token, new token registration, or the token registration logic, provider handle FCM token management. So it was some of the to-dos that we saw before. Token provider, notifier, mm, so there is some more integration to do. There's so many to-dos left in there that it would be complicated to fill them up. Yeah, there is. Ah, so that's bad. Ah, so let's try to check in the color scheme a second scheme because color. theme, config theme, config. Ah, I never saw this before. Auto compact to use to-do list to verbose output false. Auto updates to theme. Dark mode, that's a theme. Notification auto. Output style default. Editor mode normal. Model default. We can only use Sonnet anyway, or to upgrade to Max to use Opus. Mhm. So I wanted to change the theme. Mhm. And the problem is not the green and the red, which are fine. The problem was the blue. Now I can see read the minus and plus. They are still there. It's impossible to read there. We have to try this then. Let's see if I can see an example. Did he change it before? Don't know. Okay, so the question is, so do you mean that notifications will work only for users registered with Google Auth? Because I want them to work also for anonymously authenticated user, which seems an oxymoron. Authenticated users. Let's see when there is a blue, if I can read. You're absolutely right. Anonymous. Oh, yeah, I can read this blue. Ah, that's not the blue from import. You're absolutely right. Anonymous users should also receive support notifications. The FCM registration should work for both anonymous and authenticated users, since they both have valid Firebase auth UIDs. Let me modify the approach. My God. Let me get some water. Let me modify the approach to register FSCM tokens. I don't have water here. For all users, both anonymous and authenticated. Just have coffee, which is finished. Now I need to add the register FSCM token method. Which is just delegating. And now we need all the backend functionality. Yeah, this is kind of not true because there is no, yeah, backend function integration, but it calls, but it's not saving them anywhere yet. This means support agents can send notification to any user. Okay. Yeah, it would mean if it was integrated, but it's not. Next, we need to implement the backend Firebase function integration to actually send messages when support replies. Should you proceed with that, or do you want to test if... interesting. How can we test this stand up without the integration part? Because I don't know how. Because we cannot trigger a notification, so how can we even see those logs? The Firebase functions. I think we would not be able to trigger a notification that logs something when it happens. Am I wrong? We don't need to say, am I wrong? It will understand and answer. You're absolutely right. We can fully test it. Hold on. We can fully test FCM notification without the backend integration. However, we can test several important parts of the setup. What we can test now, token generation, permission request, app integration. So it just start, okay? And token registration, see if the registration logic triggers. Simple approach. Let me add some more debug logging and a simple mechanism and a simple mechanism. Let's see what is it. We can add debug logs to show when FCM initialize and gets token. Create a simple debug screen, display the current FCM token. Use console to send a test notification manually. It sounds great. So let's do that. Flutter analyze, good idea. Let's do the nitpicking too, maybe. Okay, let's do the nitpicking. The nitpicking was this FCM service has cache token variable which is nullable. Can you make it non-nullable? Initialize to the empty string and change the null check to instead check for empty string. Little bit of nitpicking, but you know, if you can avoid null, it's better to avoid nulls. Okay. Remove the nullable variable, becomes a normal string, a non-nullable string. Well, then it says not empty. Okay, happy with that. Now it can never be null, so it can never crash for being accessed improperly, and so it shouldn't. And now there is also another check here, not empty. But I also was using token and now it's checking cache token, which is exactly the same because he updated. Yeah, yeah, they are set the same to be the same. But token perhaps can be now. That's why I did that. Very clever. Okay. And I can return now. That probably can be changed. Okay, so maybe it wasn't a great change. Uh, I guess, yeah, I guess it's slightly better. The code is cleaner. Okay, yeah, I agrees. Okay, so now let's review carefully. When I mean you, all the changes done so far and create a PR. Check the cloud MD. already done Flutter Analyze so many times. Added the dependency, created FCM service with token management and message handling, created the FCM notifier provider, integrated FCM initialization, add FCM permissions, added FCM service configuration in Android manifest, modified auth service to register FCM token for your users, ensure notifications work for both user types, added branch naming convention to Cloud or MD. Now let's commit this change and create the PR. And create the PR. Adding, commit, push, and create a PR. Perfect. PR created. Let's have a look. Implement FCM setup and backend integration foundation. Implement for support message notification foundation. Add Firebase dependencies. Create FCM service for token management and message handling. Add FCM token notifier for FCM state management. Integrate FCM token registration authentication flow for all users. Add branch naming convention documentation. Okay. FCM service. We had to change main dart to also do on background message. Initialize FCM service. And we need a wait there. Yeah. Because we are using Firebase after register token. Who knows if you already authenticated if that works. FCM service. What's that? For macOS, no, I'm not targeting macOS, but fine. PowerSpec lock and PowerSpec added dependency. Okay. So now it's executing the tests. And it will take a while, so I'm not sure what to do. Oh, let's ask first. Okay, what will the test plan look like? And let's see here the ticket again. Ah, I forgot something. Do we need to enable Firebase messaging first with Pulumi or Palumi first, or any other cloud level permissions? I forgot about that, but now I remember. Good question. Let me check what FCM Firebase messaging required exists at the cloud infrastructure level. So yes, we need to add the Firebase Cloud Messaging API in the API service object or in Pulumi. Okay, so let's go check. Yeah. Here, Pulumi. Let me close everything. Close all. The Pulumi configuration is in the web project. So I have something called infra. It's in the web project arbitrarily. Yeah. Let's not say because it's for both. Um, well, the functions are here too, so it makes sense to be here. Where is the actual configuration? Index.ts. This is the actual configuration. So this is the one that is saying I want to change API services. I they are all name column something. The reason why it looks different because this is not quoted, but they're all same. So we have Android Publisher, Play Developer Reporting, and Pub Sub. And it says Firebase Messaging. Service account permission. We'll send we need additional YAML roles. Yeah, I didn't I had uh, I didn't check I configure carefully the service account for every function except these two last functions for messaging. So we are gonna check that too. Should I add the Polami configuration to enable FCM? Yes, please. Add that. Then we will check service accounts. So in Pulumi itself, there is a configuration for service accounts there with various role looking users. And I think we might have one more for messaging. So that's another thing to look at. Yeah. Let me check what service account might be used. I will need to change that. Yeah, don't agree with this change because it's changing the service account of another function. Instead, we need a new service account. For Firebase, but I don't have context here because it doesn't, like we cannot see what service account is, but we can see the line number. So let's go to check. Yeah, it's 54. 54 was secret access, so no, it doesn't match. Ah, yeah, 53 was secret access. So okay, that matches now. So is that thing to data store user secret access, which is absolutely not related to messaging, is that used by different functions. So we'll disagree with this change. But let me read. Um, Add an existing service account that Firebase would use, create a new service account specific. Okay, either. Number two. Since Firebase function typically run with default service account permission, let me add the FSM to the service account that would handle support related. The data store seem appropriate. No. Okay. So I I think that service account is used by other functions that only need those permissions. For our messaging functions, it's better to create a new service account, specifically created for messaging. Dunque, let me see. Let me open one of the two functions. One is send support message, and it needs to use Firebase. It needs to get a secret, isn't it? Yep, the app of Slack. Yeah, correct. Which seems which will need the secret accessor, data store user. Ah, yeah, that's data store user and cloud messaging. Let me copy that. And let me challenge that to Firebase Cloud Messaging admin. Is admin correct or a more restrictive role enough? Yeah, I think he went overboard there with the permission. Okay. It says it looks like that the Firebase Cloud Messaging admin is the only role available. It doesn't mean it's true. That's what. This failed by the way, but we're gonna check that after these changes. Okay, these are minor stuff. Let's look for this role. There you go. Firebase Cloud Messaging role and permissions. Cloud Messaging admin permission. Create list. Oh, yeah, I think we need read and write. Yeah, because we need to send not only read a notification but also send them. Ah, this is beta. Is that what he's using? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so these permissions are correct. Yeah, but it's not secure. Firebase functions have built-in permission to send it when they run the default. Um, yes, the default service account has FCM permissions together with a lot more, and as such is not secure or a good approach to use directly. Let's create a new messaging account in Pulumi. similar to the ones already present. So let's go check Pulumi configuration, which is here. Very simple. We just name of the account and the roles. There you go. So that's a new service account. Okay. No, not finished, man. We need to change the configuration of the functions to use the service account because now it's not. Um, we have a FCM API enable Firebase messaging to the API service, dedicated message service account, created with minimal permissions. This follows best security practice by creating a dedicated service account for messaging functions, granting only the minimum required permissions, avoiding use of privileged default service account. First, it told use the default, and now it say you're right. The messaging service account can now be used specifically by Firebase functions to send FCM notification. Okay, right, but it's not finished. Now we need to update send support message and the other function which don't remember the name, but it's Slack webhook. Yep. On request. So here configuration of Slack webhook is using upcheck function options, which doesn't have a service account specified, which means use the default one. Okay. And at Slack webhook to use this service account. They already dedicated configuration, so that means just add one line of code where there is service account. Perfect. Exactly. Exactly what I'd expect. I can see the configuration pattern. I added the new configuration option for the messaging service account. Update both send support message and Slack webhook to use this new service account. Let me add the messaging service account configuration. All right. Messaging at domain is the same as the other ones, I suppose. Yeah. So that's good. So the previous change would be useless without this change. Now send support messages like webhook functions. Use the dedicated messaging at blah 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 service account with the minimal required permissions, which are those secret accessor, data store user, and Firebase Cloud Messaging admin. That means they can store messaging in Firestore, send to Slack, and will be able to send FCM notification and same store support prior reply in Firestore, send notifications to users. The function will now follow security best practices by using the dedicated service account with only the permission that they actually need rather than running with the overprivileged default service account. Nice. Before we go on, let's fix the issues that were here. This one start. I think it has to be extracted in its own file. Or just rename to FCM token notifier. Okay. So this was the output of no Flutter analyzer. I see. No, the matrix. Yeah. Flutter analyze is just fine, or it should be. Start to get a little bit used. How much? 50 minutes. Maybe we can make, maybe not. The linting warning is now resolved. The file has been renamed to match the class name, the first class name. The code now follows the DCM linking rule. I'm almost cooled. Okay. Now, let's go with the other issue, which was the empty block. Why do we have an empty block in support screen at line 152? Sure now. Support screen. Did we say 152? There is a comment. Ah, so we can ignore that one. Okay. That's strange. There is still a complaint. Okay, now build, commit, and push. Do we have to run the Palumi? First, that's the first thing to do. Forgot how to, but I think there is a readme in the Palumi folder. Let's have a look. Palumi app. Okay, everything is staged. Ah, no, because we don't have a branch. I say in the web project, please create a new branch and also commit. There is another change here. The readme. I expect that to be changed. What is because yeah, we changed the service. We could change only the service because they were already using separate configuration files. So we only change the configuration, not the function themselves. Uh, and also commit the little changes to readme file so that it's all committed. FCM infrastructure with the same. Okay, commit, push, create a PR. push. So already committed, I don't understand. Ah, in app. Right, in app, committing app as well. Okay. Right. So let's see. Actions. There is push that is now building, and the build should work. Now let's go check the other PR for budget web project. Ah, it's not there. Can you create a PR for the web project as well? Will you add it to the ticket as well? Add Firebase Cloud Messaging infrastructure support via Pulumi and configure Firebase functions to use dedicated messaging service account. Enable Firebase Cloud Messaging API in Pulumi infrastructure. Create a dedicated messaging service account with minimal FCM permission. Configure support functions and support message and Slack webhook to use messaging service account. Fantastic. So he has a comment. Right, with two PRs, I think. So let's go to check how it looks like. I didn't work, that's fine. So we should have a PR here. Yep. Okay. And the other thing, you can close this one, is the issue as a comment now. Implementation progress. Okay. Okay. We should now run Pulumi app to publish infra changes, but how to add a comment? Was it -m for message? Okay. Oh, I didn't read the message. Oh yeah, that's okay. Enable FSM API add messaging service account. Okay. Probably issued in the wrong folder. Info. see if this time works. Okay, so it's working, it's working. It's doing the following up. Nice. Seems to have worked perfectly. So we updated the infrastructure configuration. We have a new service account and we double checked because this is like declarative. So we double checked everything else. Uh, and now we say new infrastructure created, message service account, EM roles assigned, deployment details is fully deployed. Okay, but they are not. Yeah? Okay, they can send, but they are not sending right now. Is that right? Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure that's right. So let's go to check this budget web. The README changes just to make the linter happy. Just change the hyphen to star. This is the new service account. This is again to make the linter happy. This is the new service account. No, it's the enabling of API service. So enabling the service if it's not already enabled. If it's enabled already, does nothing. And then the new service account. Okay, pretty straightforward. Exactly right. Infrastructure is now in place, but no FCM messages are actually being sent. Here is what is missing. So what I will do is, even though there is no visible change, the only change is changing the service account, but we can deploy anyway the function so they get the new service account. But the other thing is, if I go to Firebase console and check my functions, I don't remember seeing the service account there. Let me double check. Functions. Otherwise, we can see the same functions in the cloud console, Google Cloud Console. Let's pick one of them. These two. Here there is nothing. Let's take the Slack webhook. Wait, when was that? Why 52? Because I tested. Not sure why that. Um, Send support message. I don't see anything about the service account here. Deployed, billable instant time, 0 second. Detail usage start, delete starts. Okay, let's try to go to the Google Cloud account. Google Cloud Console. Yep. And go to Cloud Run Functions, which is the same thing. Uh-huh. So let's expand this a little bit. Mm. So, oh, well, okay, what says that? Let's open the function, see what we have here. Matrix log SLO errors, revisions, source, trigger, networking, security, SX security. Okay. No, it's not okay. Hold on, all users. Let me check another service. Um, Require authentication and all users. Yeah, but that's correct. All users can access. Okay, so logs, SLO, and errors, revisions, source code, triggers. Ah, maybe here there is some details. Ah, finally, service account. Data store user. It was hard to find, man. So it's in security in the revisions. So if I go to send support message, I go to revision and then security. Okay, I can see that it's using the default service account. So now, right, we are all committed. Let's deploy the functions. So they will change the service account. NCM run npm run deploy. This will take time. Okay. Here is clean. We can merge that, the web part. Yeah, this message is same. Squash and merge. Delete branch. The other one, this is the change in the app. Almost finished the test. So we can merge as well. So we can test it on the phone. This is deploying. So as soon as this is deployed, I can check did the service account change to messaging. Ah, I forgot something. That at this point, I can test the previous two features that were, let's see if I can get an update of the app, that were the ability to select messages and the limit to 300 characters. Okay, so updates, check for updates, nothing. Maybe already installed, I forgot. So I go to support and now still have 800, so I didn't, maybe I didn't create a new version. If that's the case, I will wait to create to include also this. That's now built. So let's review quickly the PR again. Okay, this is just about new branch format, permissions, service integration, initialization, registers token inside the auth service for all users, which does that. Then we got the token notifier and FCM service. I'm gonna test now. And the packages configuration. Okay. So this will trigger another build. Deployment complete, so we can check the service accounts. Okay, there is a new version. Here it says compute the number and compute developer. If I go to the latest release, messaging, correct. Nice. And the other one that should be have changed to messages. What we do look at one, it was like a webhooks. I don't know what we I just looked, which says messaging, and the other one is send support message, which says messaging. Okay, nice. So now we have the functions correctly configured. They don't do anything special now, but we also added the messaging, enabling the messaging service, most importantly. And now, as it's building the, let me put on amphetamine, 2 hours to prevent the Mac from sleeping. So now as it's building this, we have to wait for that to deploy a new version to the Play Store so we can test this messaging function. So before we do that, I can say, let's do something else as well. So here, now this is merged, so we can go back to main, pull, before we forget, fetch all, delete gh, whatever. Okay. And now we are okay here. We do the same here. Git checkout main, pull, fetch all, and delete. Okay. So let's tell this to Claude. So I have now merged both projects, PR, project PRs, and yeah, I just double checking. I reverted them to the main branch, which was pulled. I will soon be able to install the app into in the phone for testing. How do we approach testing? Shall we first do the usual cleanup? Yes, let's do the usual cleanup first to ensure a clean testing environment. Then we can test the FCM foundation we have built. Um, okay, so update to do's, a cleanup test environment, test FCM token generation and permission, verify SCM service integration with Outflow, test with Firebase console manual notification, testing approach for FCM foundation, clean up first as usual, delete those Slack messages in the support channel, clean up support collection in Firestore, correct, and and the debug logs, but I know that function does both. Test FCM foundation, install app and check logs for FCM initialization, verify FCM token generation permission request, check if token are being registered without flow, and test manual FCM notification from Firebase console. Sounds great. Well, we can verify FCM permission requested properly, FCM tokens generated and logged in, no crash during FCM initialization, integration with authentication work, manual integration can be received. Manual notification can be received. Well, we can be test automatic support, token storage, support check and notification, support chat navigation for notification. Should I proceed from the cleanup? Yes, please. Oh, what's he doing? What is wrapping? No, what is he doing? What are you doing? Creating a new file? It's okay to run the usual cleanup function, which also deletes debugger messages. You're absolutely right. I should have used the existing cleanup function instead of creating a new code. Let me run the usual cleanup function and hence both Slack messages and Firestore. Okay. Is this the one? Functions? Package? It hallucinated that. It's absolutely not true. There doesn't exist a cleanup function. Maybe not a bad idea to put it there, but it's absolutely not there. Let me help. I think it might be here. No, let's say, no, it's in Python. Look into at readme, and we got the Python scripts readme. It absolutely hallucinated that cleanup function. I'm thinking to find a way to consolidate these scripts so they can be called from one place or something, but no, it's not the moment. Okay, that looks good. And delete Slack. Oh, so now if I open the Slack, you should see messages appearing except those that I sent. So it can only delete the budget part of messages. That didn't seem to be the case. Strange. Slack messages were not deleted. The bulk delete, you're right, the bulk delete only look for webhook delivery failed messages, but yeah, okay. He forgot the -all package. Oh, that was wrong. He forgot to add that, but now he's fixing it. Okay. This is using tokens. Maybe we are almost at the end, but only 20 minutes to refreshing them. This time it will work. There you go, the messages are disappearing now, except the one I sent. Those can't be deleted. So let's delete the message I sent. There should be a way to automate that as well, but I don't know. No, it's okay. Don't know how. Okay. So now this is done, we can start to test as long as the app is deployed, which will take a little bit of time. So it's perfect time to have a coffee break. We need 5 minutes more. Okay, so it's about to deploy to the Play Store. It's in progress. So we're almost there for be able to test. Version 484. So I've done a few deployments, yeah. 1234. Okay. So once this is done, can go to the Play Store, go to the release, and there will be a new release here in draft mode. Maybe I can automate this further where you also push it completely, but I don't know. For now, it's not too bad. The problem is the description here. So description would be testing, could be the headline from the PR, but FCM integration, backend integration. Yeah, we added only 193 bytes, which is like surprising since we have the whole new dependency. Surprisingly small, eh? I mean, of course. Besides, I assumed that the deployment was finished, but it was not. And it even failed. Wait, this is because why it failed? Is it because I did that in the same time? Yeah. Oh my god. I did that too quickly. I think um we create a new version. The version that we just deployed should work, but since it's not 100% sure, then there is some failure where you think, oh, did it actually work or not? So it's actually better to do a new deployment. Next time, wait for the deployment to finish before to actually put the version from draft to deployed. Draft to final? What's the terminology there? I don't know. Okay, we use a lot of messages, but it's only 11 minutes to reset. And we need some time as well for deployment again, fortunately. So we should be fine with that. For example, here, the deployment took about 3 minutes and a half. So we can expect something similar here. So we are not even halfway. Okay. Sit back and relax. No rush. Okay, let's suppose that is done. So I will tell Claude that it's already installed. If it's not true, just to see the next step. The new version is now installed on the phone. How do we proceed with testing? Let's see if FCM initialized properly when the app started. Run the app and let's check the logs. Okay, so now we have to wait to run the app once this is deployed, and also the app is updated, but we have a next step already. So it's great that now Claude can check directly the logs because I send the logs for Firestore only for my users. So everything is integrated. I don't need to say, Claude doesn't need to say, okay, can you check in the logs if there is that thing? Claude can do that directly. Okay, now it's deployed. So we have to go here, no mess up again. Now we had a race condition basically updating the version. This version should be exactly the same as the previous, but now we are sure that it's actually okay. Test FCM, what was that? No, integration, backend integration. Next, so we have to look for the release 1.2.34. I'm waiting a bit. I don't know if it's already available. We can check though. We can try. So go to the Play Store on the phone, check for updates. Not yet. Check for updates. Here you go. Let's see if you see the version. No. Can see only what's new testing FCM integration. If I go inside, it doesn't say the version here. That's strange. Okay. Something to look into later. Now it's not important. Move on. We install and we'll check the version from inside the app to make sure that we have 1.2.34. Okay, open. Ah, there you go. Allow budget pilot to send notification. We have to say allow, otherwise we can't go on with the testing. And now, let's see. I don't even have to open the chart because it's just check the FCM initialization. So we can say proceed, but I'm gonna check the version. Yeah, 1.2.34 written there in the blue. So I can say proceed, check the logs now. User granted notification permission. I could have denied, but that's FCM foundation is working perfectly. Step 1 result, FCM initialization success. Let's check the ticket as well. Dunque, the ticket went to done. Instead, we can put in review and test. All right. So I had in test also the other two tickets. One was the 300 character limit, which is now displayed over there correctly. So when and they also update in real time. So I can post maximum 300 characters. I'm going to keep on typing random letters until I reach 300 just to double check. It takes time. Just got to 100 now. 150. It's pretty long. I'm also not sure the send button there on the side. It seems to could be smaller maybe because is could be smaller or can be overlapped. How does it seems to a big waste of space. If I open, for example, WhatsApp, I think they have just a small. What the default is a voice message? I hate voice messages. I send a message. How do I send a message? It's just with enter? No? Ah, as I start typing, it becomes an arrow. Okay, so that arrow icon looks like an airplane. Um, yeah, my dog is yeah coming. Open the door. And also the arrow icon that looks like an airplane appears as long as I start typing. Otherwise, the default is the microphone. And I think if I create a long message, yeah, it stays at the bottom. Yeah, so that's two things that I want to create a ticket for. It's not related to this, but something I realized. So I create a physical ticket, then we'll probably create a ticket in GitHub as well. But for now, I say in the chat, change send button in the chat to an arrow similar to the one in WhatsApp. And keep it aligned, the same ticket, keep it aligned to the bottom. Okay, let's put this in to do. No, not important now, but something to remember, a small improvement. Okay, so I arrived at 200 characters. I'm still testing this max functionality. I'm sure it works because it's provided by Flutter itself, but just to make sure when I close the ticket, I actually tested it. So we are 250. Ah, and then something happens at 250. I can't see anymore the bottom of the screen. Yeah, that's really annoying. I can't see what I'm typing anymore. But I'm at 300. So as I'm at 300, that works. Nothing types anymore. Okay, so I delete all this nonsense, 300, a long message. I send it. I send a shorter version of it. And now I check if we can select it, which is the other thing I had to test. Let's open this. Was the 300 character limit? Yes, correct. Correct. I have a counter, of course, and this didn't change. So now we can say this is done. Test it, close it, all works. We found a new problem. Let's write a ticket for that. The new problem is as I exceed maybe 200 characters, I say how long, but it depends on the screen. Long sending long chat messages. Can't see what is being typed because the form stays on the top. Not the form, but the text element. Maybe this can be solved by shortening the messages. Maybe it can be solved by making the arrow at use less space. But for now, it's fine. Also detail, and the other one selectable and copyable. Oh, okay. See if I can select and copy. Yes, finally. That is helpful. Maybe the support includes a link. Before it was not selected and copyable. Now I can. This is the message. I send a support message. Support reply. And I check I can copy that too. But not the timestamp, but it's fine. Okay, actually it's even better. Yeah. Okay, so this also done and it works, so we can make it really done. So we were working on this. Going back to the chat. Check the notification. Okay, so now mhm. So now mm, let's send this notification. Go to console Firebase, which is here. Project messaging, which I think I never use. So how do I find messaging? Project overview. Where do you find messaging? App check. Okay, let me see. I need to resize this window. shortcuts. Ah, the build uh, run messaging. So what I do here, click send your first message. Okay, cloud messaging. Is this the same as messaging? App check, app posting, Firestore function, hosting storage, run. Okay, okay. Let's say on in not yet, not really, no. In Firestore, I found messaging in the run menu, not cloud messaging. There, I don't have an option to send my first message. I just have create, oh, Gemini, but that doesn't matter. Create your first campaign. What shall I do? Correct. Path for the same messages. Select your project. Yeah, which is already done. In the left whereby left sidebar, look for the engage session. That is obsolete, I guess. Messaging under engage, not the run menu. There is no engage. Cloud messaging. It's the same though. There is no engage section. The sections are build, run, analytics, AI. You are right. The Firebase console layout has changed. Incorrect Firebase console. Run messaging. If you only see a campaign, FCM is not fully configured yet. Or you need to look for send test message, new message, test message. Okay, let's keep on looking. Let's try this. No. I only have create your first campaign. View FCM reporting dashboard. Ask Gemini. Ask Gemini. Let's say that too. Maybe we can ask Gemini. How do I send a test message? Let's ask Gemini. How do I send a test message? First, make sure your app includes Firebase and App Message SDK. Done. Get your testing device installation IDs. In Firebase console, navigate to messaging page. Go in app messaging tab. I didn't say that. See that? Gemini. In the Firebase console, navigate to the messaging page. We have done that. Going to the in-app messaging tab. I am already on the messaging page, but there isn't any in-app messaging tab. Only the button create your first campaign or view FCM reporting dashboard. Let's see what Gemini says. It's very helpful detail. Thank you for clarifying your current view of Firebase console. You're right. If you're seeing only create your first campaign and views FCM reporting dashboard without in-app messaging type, it means you didn't create an in-app messaging campaign in this project. The console organizes things a bit differently before your first campaign of a specific type is initiated. The messaging section is the home for both Firebase Cloud Message notification and Firebase in-app messages. The tab for notifications and in-app messages only appear only you have an existing campaign or started the process of creating one of each type. To send in-app messaging, you will need to kick off the creation of first campaign first. Okay. Let's tell this to Claude. So I copy this. And I tell Claude. No, let's continue with this test. I asked Gemini, and this is the question and answer. 16 lines. Okay, that's all of it. That should be enough. Let's check my dog 1 second. I have to go soon. Actually, now. I see the Gemini is talking about Firebase in-app messaging, but we need the Firebase cloud messaging for Firebase communication. These are different service. Yeah, I know there was no confusion. I mean, yeah, they are conflated there, but the suggestion of Firebase is correct. Of Gemini. Create a first campaign button. Okay, let's do it. Create a first campaign. Oh, oh, that's unexpected. Ah. When he asks for campaign type, look for notifications. Ah. Are you sure? Okay, I clicked on create your first campaign. No, first campaign. And these are the options. Let's say, make it clear. 1, 2. I'll go back here. Shall I choose option 1 or 2? Let me make sure that I copy that. Paste here. Okay. Perfect. Option 1, Firebase notification message. I thought it was enough. Yeah, there was a campaign. Okay. Push notification, they appear in the device notification tray. That's what we implement in the Flutter app. Option 2, completely different. They only show inside the app when it's open. Okay. Okay. So we said notification message, notification title body, target, single device. Let me close Gemini. Don't think we need it anymore. What do I write in notification in? I think this is the actual notification, including the title. Notification title, text, notification image, no need. Didn't know I supported an image. And notification name. Oh, I need to go now. Support reply test, notification text, that, image blank option, notification name, continue to the next step. User segment. Target user if app budget budget Android and shall I just press next? It does not ask for token. Yes, let's press the next. The Firebase console workflow, message detail, target selection, scheduling. The token comes in the next step when you select the target. I'm setting the target now. Scheduling now. There is no general target selection. Only scheduling. Send now and additional options. Okay. Review. What does that mean? The campaign was successfully saved. The campaign was successfully saved. I don't think it sent a message. I think it's to do later. Now I can select the campaign. Not sure. Maybe it did. Send 0. Check up logs. I don't see, because I don't think it sent anything. In notification tray, let's open it. No. Let's open the app. No. I need to go now. Okay, so I'll continue later, but the thing is, there is still something to set up. All right, we'll see. Oh, no, yeah, I see. Huh. Support reply test. So let's tell I received it now. Exclamation mark. Ah, so it's working. With even the icon of the app, pretty neat. complete success. FTM's guaranteed. But did you check the logs? Did you check the logs after I received it to make sure it's as expected? I didn't check the logs. Good point. Let me check the logs to see the notification. So that's great. That is great success. It means I can finish this stream with the first part of the feature completely done. That interesting observation. Ah, okay. Let me turn on the app. I now open the app and tapped the notification. I didn't, but I will do. Please check the logs again. Let me try to tap the notification with the app closed. Yeah, it opens the app. Let's give it 2 seconds to make sure the logs are there, but 1, 2, 3, enough. Excellent. Complete success. All right. See you later. Bye. Good success. Good. Fantastic.